welcome to Gaming Malta's stand here at ICE 2024. I am joined now by responsible gaming consultant Maris Catania. Maris, welcome. Lovely to see you.
Hi, nice to be here.
Maris, tell me, you've been working closely with SG Certified. Can you elaborate a bit more on the work you've been doing with them?
For sure. So as a safer gambling, responsible gambling consultant, so I help different operators, regulators, or trade associations by doing, like, for example, translating certification, making it clearer, developing training material, but also consulting with operators sometimes. It varies. It can be really simple questions, but at times it can be really complex. So I'm just there to help them and hopefully make the industry a bit better.
Fantastic. Lots of very worthy work, obviously. I mean, your work on markers of harm for various gambling products was very extensive. Can you tell me about any sort of surprises or findings that were unexpected that came out of those studies?
The most surprising thing is that when you look into objective data from the industry, it's so interesting. And at the same time, you can have like real data and understand consumer behavior so well. And I know a lot of operators are sometimes afraid to share this data or afraid that it's only cost cutting or it will only impact the revenue. But it really helps when you help people at the early signs because they can control themselves and they can stay actually and have a sustainable relationship.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on, you just mentioned obviously about research being important, how operators can use research and data to make more informed decisions and basically become better at safeguarding their players?
I think research is the basis of everything. So I'm saying this as a proper nerd. So obviously I love research, but I think it's always good to assess what you do. So if, for example, something simple like you're using this type of communication over another, does it work with all age groups? Does it work with the different genders? Does it work with different countries? And I think through research, you can see which is the best and most optimal methods to get the best feedback from your customer. And the beauty with online gambling is that everything is traced. So the data is there and you can do so much analysis that nothing is out of this world. You can try and experiment, and responsible gambling can be part of the customer journey and not an extra step.
So you can really use that research in quite a lot of nuanced ways to help. Innovations like AI and business intelligence tools, do you think they're making it easier for operators to just effectively manage that responsible gaming responsibility that they have?
I think right now we see a lot of companies and a lot of associations mentioning AI. I'm just afraid that sometimes it's just a buzzword, that they're not doing AI as much and its potential. So we still need to understand the topic. We still need to analyze the data. We need to identify the criteria, but AI is limitless. So as long as it's used to protect customers, not to get them to spend their every cent, I think it would be very, very good.
So lots of potential applications, but it's about sort of exploring the best application for it.
Exactly.
Looking ahead, are you optimistic about the future in terms of safety and well-being of players?
I think I am one of the most negative people in the industry. I've been working with safer gambling since 2010. So I've seen quite a big shift. I must admit we are seeing a better commitment. We are seeing more regulators having more staff. I'm just afraid that sometimes operators are a bit too innovative to get too much, but still at the same time we're seeing a lot of collaboration. For example, I love when I see work with lived experience, so people who have been through a gambling disorder, collaborations with academics, you have collaborations with different stakeholders, regulators. So when you have that one place, the one dialogue, we are getting there, but we need to continue, not just stop.
And all those voices feeding into that dialogue are very important, of course.
Exactly. And that's what we need. You need to have a multifaceted approach. You need to understand gambling from different aspects. And again, responsible gambling is not something that is going to ruin the business. It's actually going to enhance your business. People remember when a company takes care of you rather than just treats you like a transaction.
Thank you. That's so interesting. As a female in this industry, How optimistic are you about the way that women are brought into the industry, championed? Do you think there is enough encouragement to bring female talent in?
I think there is. I think what I would like to see more is equality. So I understand that there are a lot of initiatives to get females on board, but I think if me, myself, as a female in this industry, I'd rather have equal chance to someone who has my same qualification and is a male, rather than then have like special treatment because I'm a female. So I think it's a very fine line. As long as what you do and what you get is based on meritocracy and what you're qualified in, I think almost gender should not even be mentioned at that point.
You don't want favoritism because of gender, of course. You may have heard that Gaming Malta have launched their Respect campaign, which is all about sort of setting the record straight, really, on the iGaming industry and trying to bust myths and promote the facts about the industry. I wondered if you could tell me, in your experience, what have been the biggest misconceptions that you have come across?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions was that most of the revenue is coming from people who have a problem. So I understand that there might be sometimes over-reliance on certain customers, like VIPs or people who spend a bit more. But a business model which is based entirely on VIPs or entirely on people who wouldn't afford to be VIPs would be very short-term. And I think the industry is moving closer to focusing on more sustainable relationships. And in fact, I remember when I was at Kindred before, we had launched the Journey to Zero to be more transparent, to mention like, this is how much revenue is coming from high-risk groups. And I think this type of transparency, this type of dialogue is really needed, because we can totally see that, there might be some myths that, yes, they might be close to the truth, but there might be some myths that are so far away from the truth that can impede others from advising. So if, for example, there are exceptionally bad myths that say, if you share your data with researchers, you're going to get really bad results and it will impact you, that will impact advancement in research. So let's have fact-based discussions instead of these speculations.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Maris, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.